you must be saying to yourself, is he going to do the same thing to our messiahs? The answer is, of course, you bet, but not in the manner in which you fear. If you currently believe in one of the messiahs, then all I intend to say in the three-way messages dealing with the Messiah projects will not harm you. In order that you may understand my reasons for writing as I do, I think it important that you know what I know of religions. Since I have told you that all of mankind's religions came from advanced humans from other planets, and that they were constructed as a slave control program, you may think I consider religion as bad or evil. You're right in the sense that I do think much associated with religion to be evil. That is, I consider the way man has used religion as a tool to control his fellow man to be the ultimate act of evil. Religions were designed right from the start to enforce control over the masses by their masters. Unfortunately, the reins of control simply changed hands. This is not what was meant to happen. After the Great War, the Doma, daughters of Ma, who had won control of the earth and all its inhabitants, decided to use religions as a means of teaching humankind the information necessary for him to achieve civilization. This learning process was to take place in two phases. First, rules of behavior, laws, would be given and time allowed for humankind's numbers to build. Later, when the basic structure of mankind's societies had been established, they would introduce a series of teachers, quote-unquote prophets, that would set forth the philosophies of advanced human civilizations. These we can refer to as the Messiah projects. They were actually to achieve two functions. The first, as mentioned above, was to give humans the basic framework of theology necessary to become true human beings and not simply animals with the power of speech. The second was to introduce this information into separate societies with the intention of causing an exchange of information and cooperative study. The hope was that the different societies would see their particular theology as part of a larger whole, and so that they could fully benefit from the complete belief system, would share them with others. Thus, not only instructing man in higher order thought, but also introducing a unifying mechanism that would bring together her various people into a greater common cause. Beautiful, isn't it? You need only take a look at the world around you to see how miserably the plan failed. Why? The reasons are both complex and many, but they can be generally summed up in the following statements. Religious philosophies define the belief patterns of a people. They provide the framework for advancement, integration, and social construction. Life is duality, male and female. Religion is a framework for uniting this duality into a higher state of existence known as one. The single greatest problem inhibiting Earth's advancement is that early on in its development, your religions were taken over and then dominated by one gender, the males. This effectively destroyed the primary purpose of uniting your male/female duality. Another problem is that men quickly realized the controlling power of religion. It became a tool to enhance their own power and egos. Also, instead of viewing what was given to them as part of a larger whole, they saw themselves as the sole proprietors of a single belief. Their pride led them to think such things as, we are special, we are the chosen. They saw their part as the only part. All other ways must therefore be false. This led to the my God is better than your God way of thinking. Last but not least was the continued deification of the Doma and the teachers they sent. One of the main goals the Doma wanted to achieve was to make humankind aware of other life in the universe and to gradually wean them from their tendency to deify and worship the Doma and those they sent. This failed miserably. Not only did humankind still view their brothers and sisters from other worlds as gods, angels, demons, etc., but they also deified the teachers sent by the Doma as well as the Doma. The only exception, and therefore the only possible success, was Muhammad. The followers of Islam believed in the teachings of the other prophets as well as the final prophet Muhammad. They understood that there was in reality only one God, and that God was all, or Allah. They even knew that it was the same God that was found in the religions of the other children of the books, the Jews and Christians. They received the final, most refined message given to man. Yet you need only look around to see that it, like its other sister religions, have not lived up to its fullest potential. Finally, man himself has changed, edited, and added to the basic information given to him. In some cases, this was done simply to eliminate a belief or law that he did not agree with or want to adhere by. In another case, a much more sinister and destructive plan was in action. It involved the systematic and deliberate removal of any traces of the female origins of all the major religions. This was a result of the takeover of existing matriarchal religions by patriarchal forces. In the advanced human society that exists out there, the relationship of male and females is balanced. This is due to the fact that in a technologically advanced society, higher intellect rather than brute strength is the more important asset. The physical difference between male and female is not a key factor in determining their status. On Earth, it has been an overwhelming factor. The Doma originally set up temples to worship a female deity. The temples would be the means by which information could be given to Earth's people via their religions. Since the Doma were all female, the deity of a temple would also be female. Priestesses were chosen as well as male priests. The priestesses, though, had the major role. This type of operation lasted for many thousands of years. During that time, the Doma had extensive and direct involvement with mankind. They were able to physically intervene in many cases. Finally, however, there came the time when humankind needed to be left on his own. This was done to see whether, if given the necessary information, they could become advanced humans by their own actions. All Doma forces left the planet, and mankind to its own devices. What happened next was a lesson in primitive social behavior the Doma would not soon forget. One by one, in rapid succession, the leading female religions were taken over by males. In some cases, females were not only removed